Hey, I'm Lake Fork Fishing Guide Stephen Fatherree, and in this short fishing tips video, I want to talk about the line size that I like to use on my crankbaits when the water is cold, in late winter time and early pre-spawn. Now, the first baits I want to talk about are 1/4 ounce rattle traps and flat-sided crankbaits. These baits are a little bit lighter than the other cranks I'm going to throw, so I like to throw these on 10 to 12 pound fluorocarbon line. That lighter line is going to allow for a much longer cast, and it's going to help those lures to get down a little bit deeper. Now, with my square bill crankbaits and my 1/2 ounce rattle traps, I use these a lot in shallow water in the winter and early pre-spawn, and with those baits, I like to up the line size to about 15 pound fluorocarbon. I like that heavier line because I'm going to throw these baits to targets such as stumps and boat docks, where I think big pre-spawn bass are going to move up and hang on. So that little bit heavier line size allows me to pull big fish from cover. Now, lastly, with my deep diving crankbaits. A deep diving crankbait is an excellent bait when bass are in pre-spawn mode, especially on main lake and secondary points where a lot of times they're going to gang up. But you need to choose your line size based on the amount of cover that's in the area you're fishing. So if you have very sparse cover, you don't have a lot of hang-ups, I'm going to throw this bait on a 12 pound fluorocarbon line. That's going to allow you to make a super long cast and allow that bait to get down to its maximum running depth. Now, if you're fishing a big fish lake like Lake Fork, Lake Amistad, or Falcon, where you've got a lot of snags, I recommend you use at least 15 to 20 pound fluorocarbon line on those deep crankbaits. That heavier line makes a huge difference when it comes to pulling big fish from cover. Now, just keep in mind for all of your springtime crankbaits that the lighter diameter line you use, the longer you're going to be able to cast that bait and the deeper that bait's going to run. The heavier diameter line you use, it's going to be tough to cast lightweight baits very far, and it's going to make your crankbaits run a little bit shallower. So keep that in mind. I hope you enjoyed this fishing tip. For more tips like this, click the link in the description below this video. I'm Lake Fork Guide Stephen Fatherree. Good luck fishing.